Number 8. Launched in March 1965 as a tidied-up AP5, the AP6 gained self-adjusting brakes, a new grille, and, most controversially to valiant traditionalists, the end of the push-button auto for a conventional lever. Then, in August 1965, Chrysler Australia slipped in the optional 273 LA small block V8 with a 3-speed torque flight, turning a sensible family sedan into a genuinely brisk commuter with a nice lumpy idle. It officially rated at about 180 horsepower and 260 pound-feet. In period testing, the AP6 V8 wasn't a dragstrip assassin, but it could hold its own. 0 to 60 around 11 seconds and a standing quarter in 17.9 seconds. The AP6 was the first Australian-built Valiant to be offered with a V8, and one of the earliest locally built cars you could buy new with 8 cylinders, beating Holden's factory V8s by years and landing ahead of Ford's XR GT era. Production ran from February 1965 to March 1966, with 43,344 models of all types, and the V8s are today the true unicorns of the bunch. Number 7. Launched in March 1966, the VC Valiant took Chrysler Australia's tidy AP6 formula and sharpened it with crisper, squarer styling, and, most importantly, kept the sweet LA Series 273 under the bonnet, good for a brochure-quoted 180 horsepower at 4,200 RPM and 260 pound-feet at just 1,600 RPM. It even flaunted period swagger with a vinyl-covered roof on the V8 sedan, bucket seats, and floor console so that Dad could feel a bit VIP on the school run. Built from March 1966 to September 1967, the V8 models also picked up safety cred with available front disc brakes, handy when 8 cylinders are doing their best to outrun yesterday's radials. In period figures and reputable catalogs, the VC V8 typically ran the standing quarter in the mid-17. You'll commonly see 17.4 seconds quoted, while enthusiasts note well-sorted cars could dip into the high 16. Fun fact: 2 automatic VC V8 sedans won Class D at the 1966 Gallagher 500, finishing 10th and 11th outright, proof that a comfy bench and a torque-rich small block can survive a very long Sunday. Number 6. Launched in July 1969 as a facelift of the Aussie-developed Fairlane, the ZC switched to vertically stacked headlights, kept the stretched Falcon proportions for limo-like rear legroom, and, most importantly, could be ordered with the 351 V8 that shared specs with the XW GT. Total ZC production landed at 12,513 cars, making proper 351s a coveted find today. Under the bonnet, the 351 Windsor was rated around 290 horsepower and 385 pound-feet. How quick was the big Ford? Contemporary spec roundups pegged the standing quarter at 16 seconds for a 351 automatic, with 0 to 60 in about 7.6 seconds. The ZC's 351 option carried the same headline numbers as the XW GT, giving the Fairlane genuine muscle under its velvet gloves. Aircon made it a proper grand tour in the Aussie summer, and prices when new reflected the boss spec. The 500 V8 351 sat at the top of the ZC price sheet. Number 5.
The 67 XR Falcon GT holds a special place in Australian automotive history as the country's first true muscle car. Launched as part of the Falcon XR series, the GT version was designed to compete in long-distance motorsport events, notably the Bathurst 500. Powered by a 289 V8 engine, it produced 225 horsepower and was mated to a 4-speed manual gearbox, allowing the vehicle to sprint from 0 to 60 in around 9.7 seconds and cover the quarter mile in 15.8 seconds. Its top speed was around 121 miles per hour, making it competitive with American muscle cars of the same era. Only 695 units were built from 1967 to 1968.
Number 4. The XT range arrived in March 1968, with the GT following 2 months later, carrying a 302 small block and a 4-speed manual, an evolution of the XR template but with more muscle and better manners. In GT tune, the 302 delivered about 230 horsepower and 310 pound-feet, backed by wider 6-inch rims, a front anti-roll bar, optional limited slip diff, and those now iconic lamps, a look that became a GT trademark. In period figures, the XT GT would rip the standing quarter-mile in 15.8 seconds and sprint to 60 in 8.5. While Holden's Monaro famously won Bathurst in 1968, the XT GT answered on the world stage. Ian Vaughan hauled an XT GT to third outright in the 1968 London-Sydney Marathon, and Ford Australia took the team's prize with finishes of 3rd, 5th, and 8th. Imagine hammering a near-stock sedan across 3 continents and then driving it to work on Monday. Number 3.
The Monaro lineage began earlier, with the HK Monaro in 1968. However, it was the HT series that truly cemented the Monaro's place in the hearts of enthusiasts. The GTS 350 variant, in particular, stands out. It was a time when Holden was flexing its muscles to compete with the likes of Ford and Chrysler. The car was powered by a 350 Chevrolet V8 engine, producing 300 horsepower and a hefty 380 pound-feet of torque. This engine mated to a 4-speed manual transmission, offered impressive acceleration, propelling the car from 0 to 60 in under 7 seconds, and could run through the quarter mile in 15.7 seconds.
Number 2.
Launched in July 1968, the HK Monaro was Holden's first ever coupe, embodying the nation's response to the American muscle car movement. Its sleek fastback body and bold lines became an instant icon on Australian roads. Under the hood, it was powered by a 5.4-liter Chevrolet V8 engine imported from the United States. This powerhouse produced 250 horsepower, allowing the coupe to sprint to 60 in around 7.6 seconds. The Monaro's success was cemented on the racetrack when it won the 1968 Bathurst 500 endurance race, one of Australia's most prestigious motorsport events. Visually, the GTS 327 featured distinctive styling elements, including black racing stripes, a sports steering wheel, and interior enhancements like the console-mounted Taka. The combination of power, style, and success made it a must-have for muscle car enthusiasts.
Number 1. Announced in mid-August 1969 as a road-registerable handling option for racing, it took the already brawny XW GT and added a Holley 600 cam and intake tweaks, tougher suspension and driveline bits. Essentially a club sport package you could finance. Most Phase 1 cars packed the 351 Windsor rated around 300 horsepower, though a small late run with the new 351 Cleveland has long been nicknamed Phase 1.5 by Anorax. In period testing, the XW GT-HO laid down a best 14.4-second quarter mile, savage for a full-size 4-door on skinny tires, and 0 to 60 in the mid-6s. Ford rushed the GT-HO to showrooms so that at least 200 could be sold and registered before the 69 Enduros. Also, despite the handling option name, the power bump and shorter gearing myths refused to die, because the car felt that fast.